this is Trista from Zero Casualties, and today I'm doing a retro 1981 pudding poke cake by a famous pudding company. And this is by request by my husband. It's a cake he never got to have as a kid, but saw the ads and all the kids in the neighborhood wanted this cake, but for some reason nobody in the neighborhood made it. So here we are to make it today. We have a cake mix, 2 pudding mixes, and just a few other ingredients that I'm going to show you. And we're going to make this fun, nostalgic cake and really make my husband's day. So let's check it out. Okay, so let's check out the ingredients in this very simple but fun, nostalgic cake. We have a vanilla cake mix. This is one that will fit in a 13 by 9 pan that I've sprayed with pan spray. Then we have 2 13 by 9 ounce chocolate pudding packs. We have 4 eggs for the cake and a ½ cup of melted unsalted butter for the cake. The only other ingredients that we will have would be 1 cup of powdered sugar and 4 cups of cold milk, plus some milk for the cake as well. I just didn't want to get that out of the fridge too early, but let's get into making the cake first. Okay, so I want to let you know that I'm making this cake based on the instructions on the back, and your your vanilla cake mix may have different ingredients and instructions. So this is just a particular one that I'm not going to mention by brand because I'm not sponsored by them by any means. But this particular one calls for these ingredients. So again, we have our 13 by 9 pan that's sprayed with pan spray. We have the oven at 350 degrees. For this particular mix, we're putting in 4 eggs and then a ½ cup of melted butter. And I'm going to be using this handy, kind of retro-like hand mixer. I'm not going to use my stand mixer for this, just make it nice and quick. So let us mix this up. So I don't want to overmix that. So that is mixed up quite well. And then I will be just right back. I have to grab a spatula and then we'll get this in the pan and in the oven. Okay, so here is the cake batter. I'm gonna get that into the pan. And then this particular cake mix says that this should bake for 24 to 28 minutes. I think because I'm using a convection oven, it can be a little faster, so I'm going to check it at 20 minutes and just make sure it's done by putting a toothpick in the center. If it comes out clean, then we're good to go. And I'll kind of get the other parts of the recipe set up a little bit while this is baking, because we have to do some of the steps quite quickly while the cake is still warm, so we can form the famous stripes and have it be super delicious. So this is spread out pretty well in the pan. Make sure I get it well distributed. All right. So that's looking pretty good. I'm actually gonna use this to put this extra bit in here. I don't wanna waste any of this batter. There we go. All right, we're gonna get that in the oven for about 20 some minutes, and I'll be back to show you the rest of this fun retro recipe. So we have the cake, the vanilla cake that's already baked. It just came out of the oven. The toothpick came out clean from the center. So the next step is to poke holes with a wooden spoon handle all over the cake. So this is gonna form the stripes in the cake. This is something I've never done before. I've done things where you kind of soak the cake with like what do you call it? Like a syrup or something like that. But this is kind of fun. So I'm really curious as to how this is gonna look when it's sliced. I've seen photos, but it's kind of fun to do it yourself. So we wanna make sure and poke all the holes quickly while the cake is still warm so that they will go down in the cake. So there we go. All right, so now that the cake has all the holes in it, we're gonna move that to the side. Ooh, I gotta keep it on its hot pad there. So we're gonna move on to the pudding. So there's 2 packs of 3.9 ounces, 3-ish ounce packs in there. There's 2 of those, and then 1 cup of powdered sugar. And so we want to combine that. I don't have to turn this on, so I'm just gonna stir that together with this. Well, maybe I'll turn it on for just a moment. Make sure that's incorporated. And now we're gonna gradually add in the 4 cups of cold milk. Save this all measured out in the fridge. So we have our 4 cups of milk. We're gonna mix and add at the same time. Created a bit of a mess, but that's okay. So we are supposed to pour about half of this pudding mixture over the cake right now while it's really warm. So let me bring that over. Here we go. And I'm just gonna use a ladle to ladle on the pudding. So it's still fairly thin right now. I guess what it does is it thickens up in a few minutes. So we're gonna add half of this now so it can go down in the holes while the cake is still warm. That's really important. And then we'll get the thicker part on in a moment. Let me kind of go like this, get that down in there. Make sure that all the holes are filled up. Okay. Woo, okay. That's looking good. So that's what that looks like right now. And then I will be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna let this pudding thicken up, and then we'll kind of frost it with both a spatula and then a kind of frosting spreader. And we will be right back to do the last step before we get it chilling in the fridge for at least an hour. All right, we are back. It's a few minutes later. I waited maybe about 10 minutes, and magically this pudding that's in the bowl has already really thickened up. So we're gonna add that on top and then use our offset spatula, that's the word that I was looking for, to kind of frost this up. I'm imagining if you wanted to, you could put, you know, like whipped cream designs on it or sprinkles. We're just gonna do classic and swirl around the pudding for today because we gotta be authentic to the original. But if I do make this again, then I might kind of snazz up the top just for fun, especially if it's for a birthday or something. And I'm gonna use this spatula to make sure I get all the pudding on there. We don't wanna miss out on that deliciousness. Let's get that on there. Okay. Yes, let's get all that on there. Okay, awesome. So now, let's be fancy and swirl it around. It says swirl. So that is fun. And I want to note that I also used a whisk, just whisking by hand to kind of smooth out the pudding because it still needed to be incorporated a little better. So that's looking beautiful. Oh, and one mistake I made on the cake that I fixed was that when I put it in the oven the first time, I thought, oh no, there's some milk sitting there. I forgot to put the cup of milk into the cake batter mixture. So I immediately, luckily it was only in the oven about a minute, and I took it out of there and mixed in the milk, and I think it will be totally fine. I'm so glad I remembered that fairly quickly, but oops. Even with cake mixes, there can be mistakes sometimes with any recipe really, but it's usually salvageable. All right, that looks beautiful. So we're gonna put that in the fridge for at least an hour, it says. Probably more is even better to get that really solidified. And then later, when my family comes home, we will cut this up and taste it and take some beautiful photos and have a lovely time. I will see you for the tasting. Right, we are trying the pudding cake, famous one.
Can you zoom? Because it looks really good.
Oh, yeah. That looks yummy.
So, can I tell a little story?
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear.
So when I was a kid, I think it was daytime TV, they had many ads for this cake.
Oh,
and
wow,
like, you know, the
okay.
recipe was the ad to buy the pudding.
Okay.
And all the kids in the neighborhood, we'd watch these commercials and be like, oh, that looks so good. And so we told our families when it was birthday time or something,
Right.
we're like, we want the Jell-O pudding striped cake.
Yes.
But I think our parents didn't watch the commercials, so they didn't know what we were talking about.
Oh.
And there was no internet, so you couldn't just look up a recipe.
Oh
so
no. They were like, what are you talking about?
I've been literally wanting to try this for 4 decades. I don't know why I didn't try it, but
Yay.
I've been wanting to try pudding striped cake for forever.
Oh,
Oh,
Dad.
Dad.
The quote from the ad.
Yes.
He showed it to us.
Let's see if your dreams are
I hope it lives
come
up
true.
to the 4 decades I've been waiting. I love how you actually can see the stripes.
Yes. Yum.
Let
What
me
an
have the first
interesting
bite.
process.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you need to tell us first if it lives up to expectations.
I don't know if anything could after
I
this
hope.
one. It's really good.
Yeah.
pudding as frosting is delicious.
Wow. This brings back a lot of memories too of like pudding cups.
Well, it's actually, it's really nice too because I know a lot of people, they don't like frosting because it's too sugary sweet. And the pudding is not sugary sweet.
I think this is actually quite a good balance. Like it's decadent, but it's not crazy. And since it's vanilla cake with the chocolate.
I gotta go try another bite.
Well, I think I'll take this up to my room.
Okay. I suppose it was a hit with you as well.
Oh, yeah.
I
Improved.
wonder what the
Family
reverse would
favorite
taste
now.
like. Maybe we should try the reverse, the vanilla.
Ooh, yeah, we gotta
with
try
the
that
chocolate
now.
cake. But this, I think,
Yes.
is
That's pretty awesome.
worth the 4 decades I've been waiting.
Yay.
Really good.
Thank you guys.
Maybe we should have this for our next birthday.
We can do that.
Yeah, I was actually thinking you could do like little whipped cream and sprinkles on it and make it fancy.
Or different pudding flavors, like
Oh.
I love pistachio pudding.
Oh, there you go.
I bet you
Okay.
pistachio pudding would be great.
We
with
have a
I
next
would.
birthday thing. Well, thumbs up from everybody. Try the recipe for sure.